Welcome back to Nuts on Cars. So today's video we're going to do a little review on the T-Roc R that you can see here behind me. Now, I thought this would be a bit of an interesting one because we are obsessed with the Golf R. We had the 2015 version, which was a manual, and honestly I still swear that car is the best car I've ever driven, and people go on and on about the Golf R and it gets a bit boring, I think, but there's a reason for it. They are ridiculously good. So just wanted to see how this compares, because basically it's a Golf on stilts, being a T-Roc. Same running gear, same engine, so just want to see if the characteristics are different, how it drives, is it as exciting, is it a different experience? So my friend Brad is lucky enough to own this one, so we're gonna introduce you to him and go for a drive and see what we think, so stay tuned. Is T-Roc. Yeah. So your previous car history, just so we get an idea on your background, what did you have before this?
Mixed. So I had a T-Roc R last time, so I'm very familiar with our product. My girlfriend actually drives a Golf R as well, so good things to compare it to.
Yeah.
And before that, some random Italian, Japanese RX-8 in there, and an Alfa Romeo at one point. It's a bit patchy.
Yeah, so, but you love your cars, don't you? So you would class yourself as a petrol head.
100%.
So obviously, T-Roc, you've ordered this from new.
Yeah.
You've ticked a couple of boxes that you wanted. Yes. So what have we got on here that was optional?
Well, first of all, black.
Yeah.
Pretty much comes as standard with everything you want. You've got Victoria wheels as standard, unlike the Golf R.
Yeah, that's a big deal, isn't it? Because they are an option on the Golf R.
Yeah,
so.
over £1,000 I think for a set of wheels, which is, you know, it's nice. And also you get performance pack brakes as well, which is another option on a Golf R. Other than that, heated seats, which don't come as standard, which I thought was a bit terrible, being an art product, and a reversing camera because I'm lazy and don't want to unpay.
Okay, nice.
Other than that, that's it.
It's pretty standard then, yeah. So I mean, it looks pretty aggressive really compared to the standard. For me, the thing that jumps out is how square it looks at the back. Yeah. That's probably the most aggressive part of the car with the 4 exhausts.
Yeah, and then the R styling bumpers, it looks 10 times more aggressive at the back, like you mentioned, than a standard like SE or a design. It's a completely different car. So
it looks quite a bit lower as well. Like, it doesn't feel like an SUV when you walk up to it.
No.
And you can just tell it's aggressive. I think I'm more impressed to look at than I was expecting. Because it's just got some nice lines. The arches look aggressive. The wheels set it off. So if you don't mind me asking, talk money. Yeah. So you've leased this, haven't you? Yes,
100%. Decent deal on it. It was a stupid deal, pretty hard to pass up. But this price, in terms of, was just under that 40 grand mark, which is big money for a small compact SUV.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm not paying that.
No.
Otherwise, I wouldn't have bought it. So.
No. And can we talk monthly rentals or?
Monthly rentals, as I said, stupid deal. Under 400.
Yeah.
379 I think it is a month, and that's with one in for 2 years.
So deposit of 379 a month. Yeah. For what, 8,000 miles?
2 years, 8,000 miles.
Which I think that's what puts this into a different category really, because you look at the list price like you said and it's like 40,000, you think it's not worth it, but if you then look at a car, you think I can have that, you've got 300 horsepower, you've basically got Golf R, same chassis, same running gear, and it's a decent family-sized car.
100%. It's factoring in the future as well.
Yeah.
You know, it's one of those things. 2 years, a lot can change. So it's just me and my missus at the moment, but who knows?
Well, things are coming. So yeah, just have a little look round. So can you have leather on these? Is that an option?
I don't think so. There's a slightly different seat to a Golf R.
Yeah. So you got the nice suede
Yeah.
cloth Centres.
Yeah, with the leather trim on around the outside.
Yeah.
And leather headrest as well.
So DSG, they're all DSG?
All DSG.
No manuals. Nav?
Nav standard, yeah.
Yeah, and Apple CarPlay, yeah. So heated seats, is that the winter pack, is it?
Yeah,
is that,
winter pack.
What else?
I think
Heated
it's
seats
washer
and...
nozzles as well.
Right.
Which is, you know, you forget about that.
Yeah, although until they freeze in the winter, but... So yeah, boot size,
Chocolate bags.
pretty decent. A little bit higher, is that because of the four-wheel drive system?
Yeah, so the Haldex
You lose a little bit.
Take a bit of space.
Yeah. So I think in the others...
That's usually, the floor would go lower than that on the standard model, but on this, because of the Haldex system, it doesn't drop any lower than that.
Yeah, it's usually the way, isn't it, when you go quattro or four-wheel drive, so... Decent size in the back.
Yeah.
I mean, you have your seat pretty far back, to be fair, so... Because you're like 7 foot, so...
Yeah.
But flat bottom steering wheel, yeah, standard. Virtual cockpit.
Yeah, no keyless though, which I'm not too bothered about because of people stealing them, but yeah.
Yeah, that's the only thing. I mean, you're in an area really, I mean, you've got to be careful with these, like we had the Golf R stolen, but round here and stuff I think you're okay. It's just minor like Birmingham way.
That's it, yeah, I don't really
you've got to be careful.
Anyway,
yeah.
So.
But yeah, looks really smart. Just feels as you'd expect a Volkswagen T really. They're just well bolted together, aren't they? Nice little bit of interior lighting.
So, I've been looking into all sorts of things for these. So it's got a different air intake system. The Golf R's is integrated into the front grille. This isn't. So don't know what that does for airflow or anything like that.
So because you like your modifications, don't you? So the Scirocco, you had a fair bit done to that.
So I had a ram area on the Scirocco. I'm not going to mess with this.
No. So tell us what you've done. You had a little back box.
Yeah. Well, I've had the resonator deleted, which is a popular Golf R mod. This is a GPF model as well. That's something to mention. So being a GPF model, they don't sound brilliant from factory unless you go for the Agrapovich exhaust. Probably said that wrong, but it's just a bit too quiet for my liking.
Yeah.
So I've had that taken off and it sounds a bit better. It's not perfect, but it'll do for 2 years.
But yeah, love it. I think it just looks like it's got a lot of presence. So we'll take it for a spin, I think, and see what we think. Because, like you say, your girlfriend's got a DSG 2019 Golf R.
Same GPF model, so same exhaust system.
Yeah.
It's pretty much identical other than the doors, and that's about it really.
So I think for people watching the video might be looking at what's it like compared to a Golf R. I think it's quite the important question because that's what it is, but is it different? I think is the kind of question we're trying to ask.
I feel there may be another video coming.
Okay, as a comparison, yeah.
We can
get some more content out of that, can't we?
100%.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll take it for a spin and see what we think. See you in a bit. So is it as good as you expected, or
It's grown on me.
is it?
It has grown on me.
Did it take a bit to...
Yeah, at first I was a bit upset with it being so soft, but now I kind of realised that it's got benefits in other ways. And then when you kind of forget that it's a quick car, so when you do put your foot down, you have a bit more fun. It's a bit more of a surprise. Whereas with the Golf, you constantly know it's a Golf R.
Yeah. That's the thing I found when you jump in the Golf. Is it makes you drive it like a nutter straight. Like you just can't help yourself.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Whereas this...
you don't feel like you need to drive everywhere, like your hair's on fire. You can sit in traffic and not worry too much, which is good.
I think that's quite important because people buying this are expecting the rawness of a Golf and the puppy dog enthusiasm of a Golf.
Yeah.
They're not going to get that.
No.
But it's still got that bit when you want to open it up. You just probably got... a little bit harder maybe and explore it a bit further.
Regarding like handling and stuff like that, I mean they did do some tweaks to it. They put some aluminium supports in here to kind of keep the weight down at the front end and stop roll really, as well as obviously lowering the suspension a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, it still does roll and it still does feel like a bigger car than the Golf.
Yeah.
But I don't mind that, I really don't. It kind of makes it a little bit more exciting to drive when you're driving fast.
You'd be like, whoa!
Because you have to hang on to something, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, I can understand that. So do you use the modes that you've got to...
Yeah.
It's got race mode and stuff, isn't it? Does that change the suspension on it? Or?
No, it's not got the adaptive dampers.
Okay.
A lot of people say when you do spec these that you should go for the adaptive dampers because of comfort mode, and you know, you can firm it up a little bit more. But I don't feel like the ride's too harsh. Obviously, 19s on this is standard. My partner's car's got the 19s, and it feels a bit crashy and bangy sometimes when you hit some potholes.
Yeah.
Whereas this is a bit more soft.
Yeah.
Which is nice as we drive through a big puddle.
Which it's better at than the Golf.
Yeah.
Anyway, so figures wise, it's 300 horsepower.
Yeah.
Because they did a 310 just before, was it?
They did a
Golf?
310 in the Golf before WLTP emissions testing came in, and then they had to detune it to get through the emissions testing. So there's a few Golfs out there kicking around with 310, whereas the majority are 300.
But every T-Roc R is a
Either
new...
300, yeah.
Yeah.
With a GPF as standard.
Okay.
But this has got a little bit more torque than the Golf and a slightly different ratio gearbox.
Is it shorter geared or is it?
Shorter geared,
Okay.
and it's mechanically limited to 155, whereas the Golf is electronically limited to 155.
So did your girlfriend like it? How does she prefer hers or this?
She prefers hers.
But she's a petrol head as well, isn't
Yeah,
she? So
definitely, 100%. Like, we both are, which is good. That's why we both got the 2-car R
it's
line.
it's quite a driveway, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like 600 horsepower on the drive.
Oh yeah. Hopefully.
Yeah.
I haven't tested it, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. Maybe more.
You know what Volkswagen are like with their figures.
Yeah. You can trust them, can't you?
Oh yeah, yeah.
So on that topic,
Yeah.
what's the fuel like?
Well, it depends, obviously, the driving mode. You know, you've got efficiency mode in this. So I've got as much as 36 on the way to work and back, which
Yeah.
I think is pretty decent.
What's that, 10 mile journey?
10, 11 miles, yeah. It's not far. But it's a mixed roads, traffic, you know, bits and bobs in there that would stop you from getting decent fuel. But no, it's nice. But then likewise, you put your foot down and
It's going to drink it.
yeah, you can get low 20s on a decent sized drive.
Yeah.
But yeah, right, so we got some open road.
Yeah. Should we do a little launch control from inside?
Just put my hazards on just in case.
So 0 to 60.
4.8.
Okay, let's see what that feels like. Christ. That is quite impressive.
Let's put that traction back on in this weather. I didn't actually say launch activated. I think
No, that sounded. It was doing the.
it was doing the limiter. Yeah. Sometimes it
pretty
pops up on the
aggressive
dash.
when it let go.
Yeah, but like you'll notice then there was a little bit of a pause because it wasn't in launch properly. But
Okay.
yeah,
No, that's,
I try not to do it too
That's
much.
quick enough, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you're not going to launch it getting your kids from school. You
Why
know.
not?
Well, it teaches
Get them
like
home
the
quick.
differently. Yeah, definitely get them home quick.
Yeah, like this is probably the worst weather you could possibly get, and that wasn't phased, was it? Then
No.
you got no traction issues.
No, not at all. It was a bit of a dip we were in, so
Yeah.
it's quite dry that spot, to be fair.
And that's the big selling point is, especially in winter, these come into their own, don't they?
Yeah.
They're the opposite to a barbecue.
Yes.
Better when wet.
Yeah. But you might hear a few pops and bangs, but it's quite tame.
Yeah.
I don't know whether that's because it's quieter than a Golf, or whether there's more sound deadening.
Maybe.
Or whatever they've done to it, it's definitely quieter
Then M's Golf
than
R.
M's Golf R. Yeah. You know, another thing obviously is being a performance car. One thing to factor in is insurance costs as well.
So you're how old?
I'm 26 now.
And this was.
It's 630 for the year, which I don't think is too bad.
It's fine, isn't it?
Em's a year younger than me, and hers is about the same, really. So you know, 1,200 quid for both cars on the drive. I don't feel that's bad.
No, that's fine.
Especially
For what it
with like
is.
the theft rate of a Golf R and
Yeah.
performance cars, and being relatively young.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's no claims bonus. I've got 8 years no claims as well. Em's got 8 years no claims. So
That helps.
just to give you some perspective on pricing, you know, if you're going to be like, you know, 18. Don't expect it to be 600 quid.
Yeah.
It's not going to be 600
It's not going to
quid.
happen.
But yeah,
It's worth quoting though.
yeah, 100%. So have a drive.
Yep, we'll do a switch.
Yep. Paddles occasionally.
Punchy, innit?
It is good. It's just that extra torque. You know.
Definitely. Just trying to think how it feels compared to the. You don't mind me opening it up a little bit. It's definitely different to the Golf.
Yeah.
But that was manual, so I don't know if
that helps with the response.
It makes it feel a bit more like you're locked in gear and off you go.
Yeah.
Whereas this is a bit more seamless.
Yeah.
It just feel more refined, doesn't it? Just straight off. You know, you can feel it's got some punch in that mid-range.
Yeah.
It feels more Audi-like to me than Golf R-like.
Yeah.
Like a hot Audi.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
The overall feel of it, I'd just say, is more mature. It's not. You don't mind me being honest, do you?
No.
It's not. It's not an outright sports car. I would say.
No,
it's
100% not.
It's like a warm. It's like a hot SUV.
Yeah.
It's exactly how you.
A hot
expect.
crossover.
Which is what it is.
Yeah.
But I think people might expect that it's exactly like a Golf R, which it isn't. It is a different setup.
This is the Golf R for someone who's at the next stage in life that needs to kind of think, look, I need to be a little bit practical as well because I don't know what's coming in the following years.
Yeah.
So, you know, if you've got one child, you'll be fine. Obviously, it's got ISOFIX and all that. You know, it is a practical car. The space is decent. And at the same time, you can kind of get away with it. So if you are having a kid and your wife wants you to get a sensible car and you've got a Golf R, this is what you get. Because you can still have the power, still have a bit of the sound, and you still be in.
And the wife
Yeah.
isn't going to be
Maybe
thinking
she doesn't
you're
know.
having a midlife crisis.
Put it in eco mode, close the valves,
I've
and
got a
she'll
T-Roc,
never
darling.
know.
Yeah. It's black. Okay.
Yeah.
You don't need to know anymore. So the steering wheel's weighted up, isn't it? In race mode.
Yeah. So it's got progressive steering as well.
You can feel it's like computerized, weighted up.
Yeah.
It revs out nicely.
Yeah.
It's still worth hanging on, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. There's still a bit of go at the top. Yeah. Don't know whether that's down to the gearing, but when you put it into sport mode rather than the actual manual,
it's definitely. If you keep it over 4, you feel like you actually got.
Yeah.
That's where you know you're in an R.
Yeah.
Before, like, since we've been pooping around, you can be the 1.5 TSI.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But then you can definitely.
Gearbox is nannying you a little bit.
I like that though. I like it above 4,000 RPM.
Just keep it there.
So is it changed for you if you're in manual, or will it bounce up a limiter?
Sometimes, I don't know. I've caught in certain points where it's changed for me, and other times where it hasn't. It's been stuck on the limiter, and obviously, you know, if you put it in manual, you want it in manual, don't you? You don't want it to take over for you.
Yeah. Almost like sometimes you having to do it. No.
I mean, I like driving a manual car.
Yeah.
It is the best.
You still want to be in
worlds.
control, don't you?
Yeah.
It's growing on me. It's becoming more. I get the feeling that it feels very refined, but actually, there's a bit more to it than that. Like when you just open it up there, I'm starting to feel like I'm driving a
faster
something
car.
that's
When you get on
exciting.
when you get on some twistier roads,
It feels very flat to me. Like there's no. You say
There's
about
not
body
a lot.
roll.
No.
I mean,
they've done a good job of strengthening up the front and the rear. Definitely. It doesn't roll massively.
It's got a little growl there when it's under load. At the bottom, it's like
When
a little bit. So
you prefer it when you're driving it, don't you? Finger right here.
Yeah.
Not maxing that limiter.
Sorry, mate. It is running now, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just under 1,000 miles. They say
That side.
Well, we're at my old work now.
I like that. How it left the corner, it kind of squatted a little bit.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
And then
You feel the weight shift.
Yeah.
And
I'm just running out of corners.
oh, there's a fuel light. Now I'm back in the car and driving like a granny.
That's what you do best.
Limp into the fuel station.
Yeah. We've got nothing left.
Definitely got the best out of the 0 to 60 on this because of the weight, you know.
That's
James
true,
is
yeah.
out the car and
What are you trying to say?
there's no fuel in it, so
It's the fastest T-Roc 0 to 60
yeah, that's it.
ever.
Other than the one that Volkswagen tell you.
So, in summary,
Sorry.
I think.
Start that again.
Okay, so in summary for me, brilliant car. I think it's exactly what you expect it to be.
Yeah.
The only thing I would say is, if you're expecting it to be as raw and alive as a Golf R, you need to buy a Golf R. If you're looking for something a bit more understated, a bit more of a sleeper, a bit more practical,
Yeah.
I think that's where this comes into its own. I actually think I prefer the look of this. The Golf's been out a lot longer. I think it looks a bit more.
Yeah, the Mark 7 Golf's been floating around since 2013.
Yeah.
So it's looking a bit old. You see them about.
Yeah. This looks a
people are
bit
used
different.
to
There's not many around. 4 exhausts out the back of a T-Roc. You go, what's that?
Yeah.
So it's got that appeal as well. So yeah, you're definitely not going to go wrong. But
No.
and you're a happy
I'm a happy customer,
owner.
yeah.
Yep. And so yeah, if you like the video, give us a thumbs up, which really helps the channel, and subscribe if you want to see some more. Get in the comments, let you know what you think of the video, and we'll see you soon.
Thanks.
Bye bye.